Hello and welcome back to the award-winning To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar in Hull. I'm your host tonight, Nathaniel, joined by Joe, Christian and Will to discuss everything Hull City on this 201st episode of the podcast. Now, the podcast title is Championship Ready, which is, of course, a reference to the worst player. Well, true, but... it's what is it? I thought it was going to be a reference to Koumas.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll carry on. Of course, this is about Lewis Koumas not being championship ready. But what it should say is Premiership ready, because I'm going to be negative already. We're not in a title race. We're not in a title race. But if we beat Watford, if we beat Watford on Tuesday, I'd love it if we beat them. I'd love it. Then yes, we are in a title race if we beat Watford. If we don't, then we're not. We haven't made the most of the game in hand. But at the moment, it's looking likely. And I was just saying it to everyone I've spoken to since we beat Blackburn. The fact that we are potentially in at least an automatic promotion push is ridiculously stupid, considering everything that's happened in the last, 18 months with the embargo and how awful last season was. It's insane. So I'm loving it. Take it away.
It is
it's hilarious, isn't it?
It is absolutely mental. Like, what did I said last week? I'm not getting ahead of myself and I'm just going to enjoy the ride. That is still the case. I have no expectations. Where we end up, where we end up. Whatever will be at the end of the season with the numbers will be. But again, I reiterate, my message to everyone is just enjoy the ride, because it's not very often you get a season of low expectations to middling expectations pan out like this. And what will happen. But we can say we were there on the journey.
No, I'm not having this. If we beat Watford on Tuesday, I'm all in. I am all in.
Cancel your Wembley hotels. Cancel them. They won't be needed.
No. Just cup final.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Change the date.
Just some dates slightly is the point Will's making.
Change the date on that one. Obviously, we want autos, but could you imagine 2 Wembleys?
No, it would be 3 Wembleys if we got to the FA Cup final.
Well, that's true. Yeah, sorry, 3.
I'm sorry, we've got Chelsea next. I'm saying keep my feet on the ground, but we're talking about 3 Wembley trips. We're 3.5 minutes in.
I know.
I was very confused. That's the FA Cup semi-final included as well, isn't it? I was thinking 3 Wembleys. Didn't we get knocked out of the League Cup?
If you win the FA Cup, you've got the Community Shield, which is a real trophy.
So that's the 4th Wembley of next season then. And that's a real trophy if you win it. If you lose it, it's just a glorified friendly.
4 Wembleys? Where are we getting 4 Wembleys from? 5. No, we're just moving in. We're moving into Wembley. We're going to play there.
Yeah. I'm just going to pitch up at Wembley International Tube Station and hope for the best.
Wembley Tigers. Is that what we've been changed to?
God. Anyway, Lewis Koumas is good, isn't he?
Well, he's the worst winger in the league, signing for the worst team that everyone has played this season. So he'll fit right in. Of course, very much like Liam Delap in particular, where Preston and Stoke fans were like, no, don't get excited about him. He's rubbish. And, it's been, 15 minutes that we've seen him play, but he made an instant impact. That one was sort of one that came out of nowhere. We're jumping ahead a little bit because Destin left first, but that is, exactly the sort of impact. Great finish. Was he onside, though? It was a tight one.
No, he was not, but I do not care.
Yes, because the ref said he was.
Exactly.
I like it. True. Was he in an offside position is different.
But right, VAR, whatever you like. If we had VAR, it'd be chalked off. If we had VAR, Todd Cantwell would have been sent off, and they'd have been down to 10 men, and it was a different game. So it was a dodgy referee that went in favour of the side. We just benefited from it more.
I was going to say, I don't care about him not getting sent off because we won 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can get away with that, can't we? Because we won.
We were a bit shit, weren't we?
We were very, very poor.
That's what happens when you win the XG battle. You're actually the worst team.
Didn't I say last week we were never mentioning those two letters on the podcast ever again?
Yeah.
What two letters, XG?
But you're right. It was such a tough watch, but we still won it. And that is what good teams do. Even when we're not at our best, when we're frustrated, when we're under the cosh, good teams still find different ways to win. And it's what Sergei Yakirovic's Hull City side are doing every single week. We're seeing different elements to our games every week. And it shows that this group of players has something special about them. If they can win games in so many different ways, if they're so together, and there's such a different mix of skill sets, let's call it, in terms of how to win games in different ways. But you know what? This whole podcast will come back to the words, I'm not bothered. We got 3 points. We're third.
Will do. It was very, I don't want to call it League One-esque, but it was a lot in the air. No
League
control. Yeah, maybe League Two. Yeah, it was just header backwards in the air, backwards and forwards. It was a painful watch. I mean, our passing and our first touches, and we weren't winning the first or second balls. It was a really, really tough watch, and I don't think anybody can deny that. It wasn't total football that we were kind of used to seeing from Sergei's side. But again, Sergei with his substitutions impacts instantly, heroes instantly, 4 minutes hero. And I don't just want to go on about his goal, but that pass on the outside of his boot into Joseph, that was an absolute beautiful pass. But how Joseph didn't score that. I was screaming, dink it, dink it, dink it. And he should have put that away and put the game to bed, if anything. Put the game to bed, and help with our bit of goal difference. I guess we can turn around and keep that kind of our 2 points a game, tally keep going, because that's what we're on at the moment. 2 points a game, you can't complain. We're winning games, like Joe said, even though it's ugly sometimes. But that's what good teams do. If it's an ugly game and you're still coming out with a result. I mean, Sergei at the moment can't do anything wrong. Sergei cannot do anything. He could. I saw a tweet earlier on, and I think it was a case of you could have put I don't know, Panda up top. I think it was.
I saw the tweet. It was he could sub Dylan Phillips on for McBurney, and still
Dylan Phillips. Yeah, that was.
Well, he'd score the winner, wouldn't he? Because Sergei
would score the winner if he could keep it in.
You just, yeah. It's just great football from Sergei, how he's got everybody working, doing the right thing. It's really nice to watch some creativity that's coming out. Even though, like I said, the game was messy, it was horrible. The subs that came on, the impact, wow. When have we been able to turn around and say that?
Like, Matty Jacob, again, he's been superb since he was called back from loan. And I said it last week with the obvious caveat of Ryan Giles. The solution to trying to find a backup for Ryan Giles was the one we loaned out. And we didn't think we'd be saying that. But Matty Jacob has come in and he's another player that Sergei Yakirovic is finding a tune out of. And again, I think it helps that he's in a team of players around him that are performing. Like I said to somebody, that when Kieran Dowell came in, although he struggled at Rangers, and Hirakawa come in, although he struggled at Bristol City, and the same goes for Collier and Koumas, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they've been in teams where they haven't had the rub of the green, when they're coming into a side that's together, united, and has a winning mentality, knows how to win, and is winning games, and the atmosphere is good, it reflects positively on those players. So that's why we saw Koumas score his first goal 4 minutes into his debut. It's why we've seen Yu Hirakawa come in and do well, because they're players with quality and they've come into a team that is winning and that's a nice environment to come into. And it's amazing, like going back to Matty Jacob, what difference playing in a winning team, in a solid championship team makes. When he came in and deputised under Liam Rosenior when we had injuries at left back, he was brilliant and really impressed. Yeah, last season he struggled for the most part. But this year, again, in a team that's winning, it's bringing out the best in Matty Jacob when he's brought on off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was another difficult game against Blackburn, though. So Koumas scored after 80 minutes, and was it 210 minutes we'd played them this season without scoring? So that's 290
going into the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I really thought it could
go against them usually.
Yeah. Because it was some mentions that it could be a typical City game in a banana skin. Of course, I predicted us to lose, just to kind of hedge my bets. So huge relief when Koumas scored. Probably the man of the match for me, on his debut, just looking so assured, sticking it in the net. But yeah, as you say, I mean, these signings, especially the four of them that have been elsewhere this season, of course, McNair, MLS season is over. So the other four, they're probably pinching themselves thinking, well, how have I gone from sitting on the bench? And especially with a lot of the comments Koumas was getting, especially from Birmingham fans, how have I fallen upwards to go to this other team that is, pending Tuesday night win in a title race? It's incredible, but it's just sort of players that, we didn't want to upset the balance, but it gives you more options. And yeah, I was hoping at halftime that we'd see Hirakawa or Koumas or Dowland.
Yeah.
Sergei got it right with Joseph. It was a really lovely goal. Hirakawa, Amir involved, Joseph through ball to Koumas. One of our nicer team goals this season, but they've combined nicely. And it's just, Sergei, as you say, Sergei can't do any wrong. Maybe Phillips coming on up front.
That's borderline.
But
we'll borderline,
see. Because with our injury crisis, you never know. But
the thing is, right?
That moment when Hughes went down, I was terrified.
Oh,
yes.
Well, fortunately, he got back up because our luck with injuries has been awful. So finally, we can't lose Hughes, especially with.
It was just an impact thing. He's all right.
By some divine miracle, a player that went down injured wearing a Hull City shirt got back up again and carried on for the rest of the game absolutely fine. The key thing is Sergei saying after the game, he don't feel any pain anymore. So that's just superb. But poor Cahill was getting his shirt on. He was ready to come on, stood on the side of the pitch, and then got sacked off. McBurney as well had some ice on him at the end of the game, but he had that last week and was fine. In a presser, not before this game, but before the game before that, he said, I'm just getting older. That's all it is. He said he felt fit, he was fine. He just acknowledges that he's nearly 30, and
that's ancient, isn't it?
I mean, football terms, that is seldom on FIFA career mode levels, because they're going to get infinitely worse from this day forward. But of course, the football is not FIFA career mode. Hence why McBurney is superb. John Egan at the back is excellent. And we signed Nordin Amrabat last year.
Oh,
true.
God, yeah.
Well, just to pick you up on that, it's not FIFA career mode. I love that Jurkiewicz multiple times this season says, I can't control the players. I don't have a joystick on the bench. So it's up to them to go and perform. So it's definitely not FIFA. because with the chances we concede, we'd concede an awful lot more if it was FIFA. But yeah, Blackburn, they had one chance from Alabiusu, I can't pronounce his name, but like they're one of their midfielders who had a Panda push that round the post. But hanging on, I was listening on the radio. We weren't hanging on at 1-0 quite the same amount as we were against like a Swansea or Middlesbrough or Southampton or anyone like that. Certainly not Middlesbrough. So even though we huffed and puffed and we didn't really create a huge amount, we did still have the better chances, and certainly a rare game where we would, by every metric other than possession, have deserved to win. But again, that is how we play. I think it's interesting that throughout the season, we've moved from kind of a better version of Slutsky Ball, where it's like 5-4 every match, or feels like it, end to end, to more like a good version of Ruben Sayers Ball, especially away from home, where you kind of hang on and get a 1-0. And, we're getting more clean sheets, and we have improved as the season's gone on. I just want to bring up a stat, because, of course, everyone, other than Hull fans, have said, they don't deserve to be there, they're going to drop off. Since our win against Sheffield United, with Akintola scoring that beautiful volley, undeflected volley.
Yeah, that he definitely did not mean.
Of course. Well, he kicked the ball at the goal and it went in, didn't he? I think that's what I think.
Leave Big Dave alone.
Exactly.
He might not be here much longer, to be fair. Let's give him credit. Yeah, sorry, David.
Blackburn played okay, but it was just kind of a standard championship match, and we just had the quality to finish it. But that's when our season really started, 9 games in, when we went on that winning run. We are the 4th best team in England, behind just Arsenal, Villa and Bromley, and we are the 2nd best team in the EFL. So we deserve to be where we are. Now, go on, Bromley. Fair play to them.
Bromley.
Sheffield Wednesday, I think, unless they win unless they win one in the next 4 games, they'll be playing Bromley next season, most likely. So it's nice to see them do well. But
unless they win one of their next 4, you mean unless they win like every game for the remainder of the season?
What I mean is, if they lose the next 4, they're already down in early February, which is brutal, but that's their situation. And a lot of people thought we could be down there next to them, and yet we're not. Even though we only have 38% possession against the team 19 spots below us. 3 points, thank you very much, and we're looking up. And I
think we were expected to be where Blackburn are.
Yeah,
really,
pretty much. Yeah.
I think one thing that I want to kind of look at, though, was the case of, actually what Cox is saying on the screen there kind of fits into this, was the team selection before the game. I don't know your gentlemen's kind of opinions or thoughts on it, but obviously when you look at that on paper, you think, wow, that's a really, really good quality lineup coming out there, and a great bench, really a lot of depth in there for the game. Do guys, this is, I guess, me asking everybody that's watching and yourself.
You're not the host. You can't answer.
I know.
Questions.
I do apologise, but I need to hear your thoughts on this with respect to Amir Hametovic. Like, he's playing great at the moment. He's playing really well, and obviously he was involved in the link-up play of the goal. But did you feel that him being in that more attacking kind of role was more suited, or was it more detrimental to him? Because I felt when he dropped back deeper late on in the second half, he played a heck of a lot better than he did actually in that kind of attacking sense of a role. Now, I appreciate that he's been really big on form, but when you kind of look at our bench and you think, Joe Gelhart's actually the wide player here. Why isn't he the one in the middle? And we've got players, like I say, that Coach has mentioned, like you, Hirakawa, that's there. Surely Hughes fit enough to kind of pop in, and if you do need to do any kind of substitutions, we've still got depth on the bench now for that. So my kind of query is, was that kind of the 3 midfielders that were playing, were they the right midfield? Was that the right kind of setup we should have had? Do you feel like, should we have brought somebody else on for XYZ? And would that have changed the style of play that we had? Would it have been kind of ping pong football?
I mean, we won the game, so I guess it mean, in the simplest form, I guess it worked. But I think the first half showed that you still, although Amir's more adapted to the Championship now, you still can't play Amir and Lundstrom together for me.
I was just going to say, as an experiment, if you played Crooks in there, that would be the slowest midfield ever. Not in just the Championship, just ever. It's like walking football.
It was, it was one for me that felt when I saw it. Oh, that's very defensive. I would imagine that will change coming into the next game. And to be honest with you, one of Amir or Lundstrom will have to drop out of the squad, I think, to make space for Collier. No Endala, obviously, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But yeah, I think I'm not sure who's more at risk. Lundstrom because he's had a couple of injuries, or Amir because I think Lundstrom's a better player than him when fit. So if we've got all 7 loanees fit, I'm not sure which of them drops. Or does Sergei do a... Go on, Will.
I feel like it's Lunny of the two at the moment, just purely on the fact that Amir's in better form.
Yeah.
I mean, Sergei's got to make the decision, not us, I suppose. But yeah, and another thing that came in chat was Liam Miller. Now, Miller's... It was an interesting watch for Liam Miller because I just think he struggled in that game. And I'm not sure on the ruling. I will double check it. But for rescheduled games, I don't think new signings can play.
Well, Sergei will confirm tomorrow in the press conference. But I asked that question on Twitter and everyone said that they can. So I don't know.
If they've played it's if they've played any minutes or been included in a bench or lineup for any of the previous games of the season.
I'm going to say, I'm pretty certain they can.
Yeah. If they haven't been included in the squad for any previous club games at their previous club and they have not been included, then we're fine. But if they have been included, even if not played, named in the lineup, they can. Yeah, Lee, I believe in that as well. I think Miller will come a heck of a lot better once Giles is back. And I want to bring that up as well. I do 100% feel we are, I think, down on the goals and missing a lot more because Giles is out. I can't wait for Giles to get back. And who thought I would have been saying that after last season?
But for Maywo's improve the defence, though. I think same with McLaughlin at left back last year. I think having 3 centre backs rather than 2, kind of, it's a give or take. But we have good enough attacking players. I wouldn't, because of like you're talking about Lundstrom and Amir, and you're saying someone's got to drop out for Collier. Collier's not come here to play first choice, has he? I want Lundstrom and Amir here first, but especially Amir ahead of Lundstrom because I was saying our season started when we went 1-0 up against Sheffield United when Jarby was on the pitch and Lundstrom was injured. So if Lundstrom wasn't at the club, we'd probably still be in the same position as we are. So you're not dropping Lundstrom for Collier, are you?
I think that's slightly unfair on Lundstrom. I think he had a great start to the season.
Did he?
Yeah.
A great start to the season? I thought he was fine. It was quite a while ago, to be honest. I don't remember him doing anything. He scored a good goal against Southampton.
But, he was organised. He was very organised at the start. He helped organise the midfield a lot, I would say.
He needs to get up to fitness, doesn't he? Because we didn't see that yesterday.
No. A bit all over the place, a bit behind play. I thought he played better when we did kind of play the deeper midfield and we did go to like literally a flat 3. And he was playing more on the kind of the left-hand side of the midfield. I thought he played a heck of a lot better when that change kind of came about. But yeah, I still think at the moment when players are out for the injury and coming back in, there's just a huge long gap before we get them back to where we previously saw them when we originally got them. We've seen that with all the players. And again, Miller's one of those. Who would have thought Miller's having trouble with his kind of touch of taking on players at the moment? He's kind of going faster than the ball is, and he's leaving the ball behind quite often and losing out because of it. Nick, it will be extremely frustrating for Miller, but like I say, you compare to how he was before his injury, to even the first couple of games when he came back from injury, but then he's kind of regressed.
He looks worse after the hamstring, but I think when you come back from an ACL, you play with such vigor because you're so excited to be back. I mean, the hamstring maybe does more damage to you than the ACL does, possibly, because you're kind of scared to go full pelt, especially after what you've seen happen to Balumi, maybe. Yeah. He's been okay, but now that there's Hirakawa and Koumas, if he can play, I think because, you see that sort of inconsistency from Miller, so 3-game week, and Hirakawa can't play at all against Bristol, I think it makes a lot of sense to give Hirakawa a start against Watford. And you rest Miller for Bristol. Yeah, I think that's fairly sensible, isn't it? Yeah.
Koumas a start as well?
Well, maybe not.
It's too early. I know it's really early.
I don't think I'd make many changes, to be quite honest.
If Joffrey moves into the 10, I think it's more likely, if he also replaces Miller with Hirakawa, I think it's more likely Joseph comes in than Koumas, just because
but then you would have Joseph on the left. Or would you have Joseph on the right? Because I think Joseph is better on the left than he is the right-hand side. Personally.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Where does Hirakawa even play? I don't know. I don't.
He can play left and right.
Side.
He can play either side, yeah.
You and Koumas, are they both just wherever you want them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is excellent, excellent cover. It's just a case of which one does better in what position. I mean, with Hirakawa, obviously, you can see this straight away when he's on the left-hand side. He cuts inside really well. That right foot of his is really fast. But believe it or not, folks, I don't think we've seen it yet. But his left foot is as good as his right foot. Trust. And that kind of bodes well for if you want him to cut in on the right-hand side as well. So we've seen Koumas, he's all right-footed. He's completely right-footed, is Koumas. I don't believe that he's got much of a left foot. I'm not saying that it's awful. I'm just saying he's not technically skilled with it.
He's not both-footed as some players are.
Exactly, thank you. So it depends on the tactics, obviously, Sega's going to go with. Does he want him to keep cutting inside, or does he want that cross ball coming in from a wide player? That's the query of that. It's great, this conversation, because how often can we actually talk about depth in the squad and going, who does he going to play this time because we've got this player and that player? We don't usually have this, like, oh, God, who can fill in the gap? Now we're going, who should we start with? It's brilliant, this.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one.
It's not Dave and Ndala, is it? I mean, they're much maligned. I think we like him. I think the whole reason, personally, that Ndala hasn't gone back to Man City is not because he's going to play, because he's not going to play against Gelhardt, Miller, Joseph on a wing, and then whoever I've not mentioned. Annie, thank you for coming in, Annie, Bristol City fan, who I think we've had on the podcast before. How's you getting on? Well, I'm very well. Thank you very much.
God, here he goes.
Zing.
Oh, if anything, we don't want to give him back, Annie. There we go. Does that answer your question? Never fall in love with a lone player. That situation.
Yeah. Can we do a pre-agreement? I mean, if the transfer restrictions end on Tuesday,
we can after Tuesday. Yeah, after Tuesday we can.
Buy whoever we want. Just can't play him until summer. Yeah. How he is getting on very well. He just seems to be happy. As Joe was saying earlier, playing in a team that's, really thriving. And I'm very excited to see if he does start against Watford. It would make a whole lot of sense because you can't complain about, there's too many games. And then, you've got a player who's really good, enjoying milk to death that joke. Well, whatever.
Well, more to the point, you've got a player who actually physically is not by regulation, cannot play in the next game.
Yes.
So surely it makes sense to utilise him fully in the game that he can play.
Exactly, because
And then he'll have 10 days until the next game after that.
There's only so many games left as well. January signings, they don't really tend to play that much, so you want them. You brought them in, so might as well.
Well, in the case of Matazzo last year, he barely played at all because he
him
was
and Barry
struck down, wasn't he?
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, Barry played even less.
Forget Louis Barry exists sometimes, but it's all his fault. Although I guess we're doing well, so thank you, Louis. Thank you for
Louis.
getting injured.
I think Marshy raises a good point there. Yeah. Seeing that Joseph's going to be rotated more with McBurney, so you don't see him out wide. You know what? That's really now we've got kind of Destin is kind of gone to Westeros. He's pretty much the only other striker that we've got left, really, isn't it?
I think that's a nice segue, don't you, into transfer?
Gone where?
Westeros. That's Game of Thrones.
I don't know why I got Game of Thrones in my head then. I don't know why I said it. Every time I read it, I think Game of Thrones.
Belgium. Just say he's gone to Belgium.
Ennis Destan has gone to KVV Westerlo, which is also owned by a Turkish businessman, and who also took Reda Lalawi off our hands earlier this year when we couldn't register that deal. And took Aliyah.
I see nothing here.
So I get the feeling Adjan might have called in a favour, especially considering Destan is injured when he's gone and signed for them.
Baz described it as like a retreat.
You're overthinking this.
It's not dodgy, but it's not pristine.
It's creative.
I love Adjan's transfer dealings, especially this year.
But I respect it. Like, I fully respect it when you consider we were thinking, do we have to deregister? Who will we have to try and do this trick or that trick? Who's going to miss out? Now we'll just send Destan to somewhere when he's injured and, won't play for a couple of weeks. Who've already done some of our taking off hands earlier this year.
Yeah. Well, when Destan was here and when he was actually fit, which, as with most signings from Turkey, isn't 100% of the time. What did you think of him when he was actually playing?
I thought he was fine.
Elaborate. Oh, dear. Oh, he didn't think much of that.
Well, Destan for me he wasn't fantastic, but to deputise for McBurney through injury, he was fine. He did that well. He scored 2 goals. And to bring on late in a game, to ruffle feathers, to run around, to use energy, as I always say, to kick people, there was no one better at that than Enis Destan. So, I mean, Coxey said I'd put him as second best signing from Turkey behind Tufan, which, to be fair, behind Ozan, there isn't an awful lot of competition.
Yeah. I was trying to think that the other day because, there are players who've played in Turkey, like Oscar and Seri, had been there, but we didn't get them directly from there.
Well, Seri was last in Turkey on loan, and that was obviously why Adjan said...
Oh, he was at Fulham, wasn't he, the year before?
He was on loan at Galatasaray from Fulham.
Let's give this a Google. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be 5 minutes.
So he was on loan at Galatasaray from Fulham, and then he was out of contract and left on a free. But anyway...
the last season he played before us was at Fulham. So I have some of that.
Yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh, after I tell you, it would have been, yeah.
Yeah, now I've got the years right in my head. Yeah, fair play, Nathaniel. Respect.
It's January, and I flustered you there. Talk about something you want to talk about. Talk about what's going on in Maribor at the moment.
What is going on in Maribor at the moment? I don't pay that much attention to it, to be honest.
Sorry, yeah.
We'll come back to Maribor watch in the summer.
True.
We
will. Are you sure? We've still got 2 days left of the
Well, we've actually got less than 24 hours left of the January window now.
Yeah, exactly.
And while we're there, let's talk about signings, shall we? In the last week, since the last podcast, we've had McNair, Collier, and Koumas all confirmed. We spoke about the first two, but Koumas, what do we think?
He's not championship ready.
Yeah.
Early first impressions are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, that was brilliant. What a kind of introduction. I know it was only a good 10, 12 minutes, but I know, don't. We'll get there. We're going to bring it up. I know, I didn't want to mention the name.
Wait for the summer for Maribor Watch, for God's sake. When we're doing the World Cup episodes, if Oscar Zambrano is on moves, then we can talk about it then.
Look, after that kind of hearing that and there kind of mention with regarding, look, there's still 24 hours left yet, and this is like something could happen. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's going to go off? I don't think anything's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, Ajin's Ajin. So enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. But anyway, Koumas wise, what a pass that was still. I still want to go on about that. I mean, beautiful.
That's quality.
Quality pass. So more of that, please. Yeah, good, great signing.
Yeah, like I said, early first impressions are superb. Outgoings. The rumour today is, there's the on-running January thing of Brandon Williams and James Furlong, which the intel I've got is on Thursday they were doing rehab drills with Ryan Giles, Elio Matazzo. So I don't think they're very fit. And will clubs take a chance on that? Probably not. So it depends what we want to do with that. We obviously registered Furlong at the start of January so he could be named on the bench for Stoke because we needed players, and then deregistered him when we recalled Matty Jacob. So that was brief. Cheers, James. Brandon Williams was one of our initial 24 when we first submitted our registration forms and stuff at the start of this season. The question in chat, will we just cancel his contract? At this stage, it's 50-50. The options are bin him or deregister him. And if we're binning him, I don't think we're going to find a club, considering he was doing a small-sided passing drill for fitness with Matazzo, Giles and Tinsdale on Thursday.
We could find a Turkish team for him because they do like to. I mean, that's
Send him to Vestalo. Send him to Vestalo.
Problem solved.
It's a pity we don't have Shelburne anymore, isn't it?
And you can shell crosses to Destan, and they'll do well. Yeah, it's not even a bad idea.
Right. Just while we're on the topic of Brandon Williams and registration, I want to do a little bit, if that's okay.
Oh, great.
We've got through 40
It's not
minutes.
one of your lists, is it?
It's not. I'm not going to read out 1 to 24 of the players we named as registered players, and then 1 to however many others we registered as under 21.
Look, if you want to, I will give you host, special dispensation to do so if you want.
No, I will pass.
Thank you.
So, to register coming out of the January window, we've got Matty Jacob, if we're taking one list to the next submission that gets published. We've got Matty Jacob, who we recalled, Collier, Koumas, Hirakawa, and Kieran Dowell. By moving out Palmer and Destan, we have made 2 spaces. Added to the 1 space we already had, Jacob and 3 signings have been registered. That means we need to find 2 more spaces. If we move out or deregister Brandon Williams, that makes another. And if the rumour mill is right today, which I suspect it is, that David Akintola will be moving on, we will have enough space to register everybody without deregistering Matazo or Balumi.
And given that if we kind of, because we're third at the moment, get to the end of the season and we're sort of where Sunderland were, where you kind of reconfigure your season and your kind of outlook to be like, okay, let's gear up for the playoffs. It didn't work very well for them in the results leading up to it, but then they put all their energy into, because I think they lost like 4 in a row, then they put all their energy into, you know, the games against Coventry and Sheffield United, and they won the playoffs. Then it's quite useful to have that time and to include players like Matazo and Balumi and get them just a few minutes. Because even if you play 3 games off the bench, Matazo and Balumi, you can be fit enough for sort of 3-game sprint, can't you? And having those might be really crucial.
100%. And as
that being said, Akintola could win us the league if we keep him. So,
well, with Akintola, Sergei has told him that his game time will be limited. Now we've got Koumas, Dowell, Miller back fit.
Does he need to be told? Can't he just work that out?
With regard the under-21 players that we've got registered, the only ones who have had first team minutes so far this year are Cahill McCarthy and Darko JB. So we do not have to deregister Darko JB. He's registered as an under-21 player from the start of the season. He will remain so right the way through the full campaign. So JB, if he's back before the end of the season, can play regardless. The only question marks are around Matazo and Balumi. But if we manage to move out Williams and Akintola, then we don't need to worry about deregistering anybody. Apart from, well, I say move out. Brandon Williams, as I've maintained all of January, is going to be difficult to move out.
Yeah.
So he might be the passenger. He won't be along. Well, he'll be along for the ride, but he won't be participating in it. If Furlong doesn't get the move to Scotland, which has been widely touted as well in the next 23 hours and 11 minutes, then he will also be in the Brandon Williams category of trying to get fit and play under 21s games before they leave on a free in the summer. So there are 2 question marks if we manage to move out Akintola.
Yeah,
that's the registration. That's registration watch done.
Well, thank you for that. That was very informative. I would not be surprised if Akintola left. Is he going to play ahead of all the other forwards we've got? And I was going to say earlier, I don't think I said, but I think the reason Ndala is staying is not because he's going to play, but it's because I think the club like him as a young player and would like him permanently next year. And you can kind of keep him at the club and build him up in training and that sort of thing. You know, rather than let him go elsewhere.
Like, transfer-wise, for Joel Ndala, because obviously loan players, even though they're under 21, have to be registered. With the asterisks of we put Zambrano as a registered under 21 player last year as an in case. But anyway, it wouldn't shock me if Ndala were to go back and go to, say, a League One club tomorrow. But the sense we all get is that's not going to happen. Although it wouldn't surprise any of us, it looks unlikely at this stage, which is a weird situation for Ndala to be in, because in terms of loan players, he is quite clearly bottom of the pecking order.
He is 7th. Out of the list, he's 7th, isn't he? And I think the only chance he's going to, if there are no injuries, the only chance he's going to have at being on the bench is when it's on Saturday when Hirakawa can't play.
But then if Collier's fit enough to be in the squad by that point, he probably takes priority because he's a new player. He's the he's the shiny, brand spanking new toy fresh out the box that we want to play with.
I mean, I don't think really Ndala has done enough.
Yeah.
He's shown little flashes here and there, but I don't think he's done enough to justify being a player who starts compared to some of the others. Or even appears.
You know,
Is
when
a
Koumas scores
future.
4 minutes into debut, what has Endala scored against Wrexham, scored against Derby, looked good in pre-season, looked all right against Coventry. But other than that, he's not had the opportunity to show what he can do. But surely behind the scenes, there's a reason for that. And that's because Sergei hasn't seen enough from him otherwise to justify giving him that opportunity.
He has had an opportunity in the sense that I feel like Miller's played a fair few minutes this season. I think it was either the Swansea or the Blackburn game where finally Miller would have played more minutes than Ndala this season because of injuries. So he has had a chance early on, but we always kind of knew with Akintola and Ndala that when we got to January and when Miller and Balumi would come back, Gelhardt come back from his more recent injury, that they were going to play ahead of them, weren't we? So I don't see both of them being here especially with the Turkish window, which is probably where Akintola will go.
Yeah, that closes Friday, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, to be honest, I'm not sure when we have to submit our registration documents. I think it's the morning after the night before, so to speak. But it wouldn't surprise me if we know Akintola's going. So we just think, we'll leave him out. And by the time it's published for us to all access and pore over, he'll probably have gone. So it'll be meaningless.
Yeah. Are we more likely to win the league than Manchester City? If Ndala goes back, where is he more likely to win the league? He's more likely to win something there.
What's the Premier League 2 standings look like?
Oh, what, in the academy? I don't know.
Because that's where he'll play if he goes back.
True. Well, he could play for Man City. He's not played for them already, so he could play for, could do.
Well, no, but then he couldn't play for the under-21s.
Does that count as a different team?
Yeah, it does. It did for Hatem Ben Arfa when he signed for us. He played for Newcastle's 21s and us, so he couldn't play for Lille until the summer.
How ridiculously stupid. Shall we talk about the non-interest in John Egan? Because when I saw that, I started, I was starting to get a bit concerned. So he's been linked to Ipswich, which I kind of understand in the sense that they also want to get promoted. They might need a centre-back, and they've certainly done that with Mehmeti, buying him off Bristol. They want to take good players off other teams that maybe need to sell and just below them in the league. So from a sensible but malicious perspective, I understand that. Equally, he's not going to Ipswich. West Ham have also been linked. What?
Yeah, I don't see West Ham. Well, to be honest with you, has anyone seen that clip of John Egan after Portsmouth last year in the tunnel going, "Come on, the Tigers"? I sent that to my mate and said, me at 7:01 p.m. tomorrow when John Egan's still a Hull City player. So Egan, I don't think will go anywhere because he doesn't want to go and the club don't want him to go. But if we get, ultimately, we are still in the financial predicament, as good as transfers have been, that good money is great money. So it would surprise me if John Egan wasn't a Hull City player this time tomorrow. But I'd hate
it's
to
down
see
to
John
the offer,
Egan.
Joe, isn't it? It's down to the offer. Like, at the end of the day,
if Ipswich want to give us, if Ipswich or West Ham want to give us £2 million for a centre back who's 34 this year and has got 18 months left on his deal, then you know what? Fair play.
Absolutely.
But that's not going to happen. And in the West Ham context, as good as John Egan is for us, I don't think at 33 coming on 34, he's enough to keep them in the Premier League.
He'd get killed. He'd get absolutely killed. Murdered in the Premier League with the pace.
And experienced, I don't think he's that good, if that makes sense.
Leave him alone.
Well, I'm getting into conspiracy theory kind of mode here. that maybe the major player that you'd be kind of concerned to keep hold of would be Charlie Hughes. Have they said, oh yes, Egan's, there's lots of interest in Egan. Look at this centre half on deadline day. Don't look at Hughes. And then, oh, we can't possibly sell you Hughes because, oh, look, West Ham want Egan, so we can't give you Hughes. You know, that might be something. Clubs are like that. Maybe.
I mean, there was a suggestion earlier in the window that that Palace would buy Charlie Hughes and then loan him back. That would make it 8 loans, so that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Egan goes anywhere, but there's obviously interest in him. Otherwise, it wouldn't be reported.
Because no transfer reporting has ever been anything but 100% factually true.
Well, no, I mean that in the sense of the sources it's come from. It's come from Mike White and Baz Cooper.
But they're not the sources, are they? They have their own sources.
Well, they're the people who provide the information. Let's call it that.
They've been wrong before.
They have, but they don't report anything without foundation, let's call it. And at this stage in the window at Hull City, it is obviously, time for the absurd to happen.
Yeah.
But this time, although there is obviously foundation, this might come back to bite me or age poorly in a day's time. But I think John Egan will be starting against Watford on Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. And there's not really many people you can bring in because you can't bring in another lone player because it would just give you too much of a problem. And free agents at this point, we've brought in McNair, but it's going to take them a little while to get fit and, in a title race, promotion race, you can't, wait because then I think you're probably playing for Maywo and Jacob at left back against Watford and Bristol. Yeah.
It is worth saying, though, we have got centre-back cover now. With McNair, with Firmino, with McCarthy, we have got cover. But all that said, John Egan and Charlie Hughes, and for the record as well, Evo Panda, they're all going nowhere.
Yeah, I agree. Right, well, Biomedic Crosno, question for all. How many points from the next 4 games is needed to be top 2 coming March? Well, probably 12. But shall we look ahead? Because we've got 4 home games in a row. Middlesbrough are away at Sheffield United and Coventry, and Ipswich have 3 away games in a row. So now is our time.
But have as many away games in a row as we have home games in a row.
It's worked out very nicely.
That's what's happened with our postponement against them.
Oh, well, of course, we must touch on this. Well, Will, do you want to explain this? Because that's in your little bio about what's happened at Watford, something that's never happened before.
Yeah, a manager resigned the way it's sacked.
There's 19 in 10 years at Watford, 19 managers.
Yeah, Harry Grassi has resigned this afternoon from Watford. I'm obviously not a happy bunny with what's going on there, but I find it quite interesting and also hilarious how much different the situation is going into this Watford game than it was at the original date. So the original date, Watford were the form team in the division, supposedly. And we're going to murderise us, from what I heard. But then we purposely got the game called off, and as a result, we destroyed their season. Because I don't think they've lost quite a few games since then, and their manager's left.
Crazy. It's
and
just like
enough,
Blackburn.
We've won 4 on the bounce. And it's incredible, that.
Yeah.
Suddenly, we're the team that's in form. I mean, it's set out to be a 1-0 to them, I suppose. Perfect for City.
Well, the thing is, right, the argument was for Watford that us postponing the game would benefit us because we had too many injured players. Of the players that were injured then, we've got, Lundstrom and Gelhardt back. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's
No, you're right.
that's right.
We were expecting by this time Giles, who won't be back until Saturday, Matazo, which are two very key players for us.
It's almost like Mataza doesn't exist because he made so
they're
little
still-
impact last year. He's not even fit by this point, you know.
But anyway, they're still not fit. Watford had 4 players out, 3 through injury, 1 because he was on international duty. That's another thing. We should have had Shemi Ajayi back, but we don't because he got injured. They had absent Ngakia, Kayembe, Chakvatadze, and Vata. All 4 should have been back, apart from, until Rocco Vata got injured on Saturday or on Tuesday, whenever he played.
They don't even have the same manager.
So they've got 3/4 of their absent players back. We have not. So if anything, the postponement has benefited them as much as it has us.
Or from a player perspective, but certainly not from in total kind of context and form perspective. We'll go into that as favourites at home. We'll probably have about 5% possession, but we'll be 2-0 up. Second half or more. This is just what we do. I mean, we'll be hanging on, and I think it'll be a tough game. But I'm much happier to play them now when they're sort of managerless and they don't really know what's going on, and they've dropped off a bit.
What do you mean managerless? They've got Dan Gosling.
Yep. Ozan's best mate. Well,
Ozan's biggest fan.
I was told off last week for not preparing anything for the 200th episode. So, seeming as we have 2 games to look forward to, I've made not 1, but 2 combined lineups. So, I'll just read this out. Obviously, most of these, considering that we are going to win the league, walk the league, does have a lot of City
Why
players.
Why have you shown Bristol City first?
Yeah.
That's because I'm unintelligent. Deeply unintelligent. See, that's... Oh, yeah, you're right. Quite right. I think... Oh, here we are. Thank God.
There we go.
I forgot to change the colour on one of them to the Bristol red. So both of them have Watford yellow on. Apologies for that. So the Watford players are Bola and then Ngakia at the fullback, and then Imran Louza in centre mid, who is one of the better players. I put Hirakawa in the Watford lineup, but have I put him in the Bristol lineup?
Yes.
I have, because he does play for Bristol, so I feel like that's fair. They're paying his wages, so I think they deserve to have him. But Twine and McCrory are in for them. But, of course, that's the only thing we can really judge it by. It's expected lineups, isn't it? We're winning 8 out of 11 of those players in both of those. It shows that
is that
should be
the new start, XLU?
XLU, yes. Is lineup one word? I think lineup could be one word, could it? XL? Oh, that's already a thing, isn't it? Yeah, hyphenated it. XLU, that'll do. Yeah. Thoughts?
Anyway, now we've got that out the way, shall we go to predictions, Will?
Move on, yeah.
I suppose. We'll have to start off firstly looking back at what everyone predicted for the Blackburn game, and
oh dear,
were positive, but someone wasn't. Nathaniel, negative as always. Going for the 1-0 loss. Well, someone did predict a perfect score, and that was myself.
Just to reiterate on Nathaniel's behalf, because his goal difference in terms of what he's predicted and what we've actually done is so bad, he said last week that he needs to predict us to lose a few to bring that down.
True. Oh, and that worked quite well, did it? Oh, no.
Well, you got the right score, just the wrong way around.
So I've not improved.
Correct.
I've just... Oh, am I? Oh, good. Oh, well, then it's going quite well then, isn't it, actually, when you think about it? 1-1 bot, stupid chump. Another draw. We never draw.
Nathaniel, Joe has caught you back up.
Get in.
While I have retaken the lead in the title race for the time being. Well, not for the time being. I'm going to win the whole thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And
Yeah.
still in mid-table. Very. He's quite a while away off bottom and top, isn't he? A bit dull in the middle for him. But I'm just trying to stay off bottom ahead of the robot. Well, are we going to predict both matches?
Yes, why not?
I suppose.
Okay, well, William, would you like to go first for Watford?
Yeah, sure. 1-0.
To
Us, obviously. I'm not
Well-
going to be that negative like you.
fine. Okay, well, Christian,
2-1.
2-1-2. Us.
Us.
Good.
Go on, Nathaniel. Hit
Oh
me.
no, I'm the host. I go last.
Oh, I was looking to do a nice segue and get my two predictions in one, but whatever.
Oh well. Oh, you can do an ABBA structure, are you? Very exciting. Okay. Well, I will. I'll let you do that then. So I'll go. Well, I got the prediction wrong. So even though my goal difference is better, I did get it wrong. So I think I have to go back to what was working for me before. So Watford. 4-4.
Brilliant.
Incredible scenes.
Brilliant. I'm going to go 2-0 win against Watford.
Mm-hmm.
And then to segue into Bristol City, I was going to say the same thing twice, but that kind of felt a bit boring. So I'm going to say Bristol City will score 1, but we will score 2 again. So 2-1 win.
Well, you fully believe we're going to go for top spot then? 6 points in a week. That would be.
I can see us. Yeah. I can see us getting 9 points in respective weeks.
Yeah,
but I'm not prepared to verbalise that we might go up. I'm just keeping my feet on the ground.
Well, I am, but okay.
Well, I'm going to be boring. Predict 1-0 to us again. To Bristol.
That is very boring. Christian, do something more exciting like me. Or maybe not quite as much as that.
Yeah, not to that extent. It's a tricky one with Bristol. I just feel Bristol's going to be a banana skin. A bit of a slip up. I do. I've just got this. No, I don't know what it is with Bristol. I might actually side with the bot and go for a bit of a 1-1. I really want to say a win because, I hope we do, but I know just something about the Bristol games screaming 1-1 to me. Bit of
They're not the same team we played earlier in the season. Not even close.
I get that. I do. I truly get that. And I agree they're nowhere near the same team. I've just got that inkling. It's one of those games where I can just see someone coming back to haunt us. So
Twine. Yeah.
Is that Mr. Twine from a dead ball situation, perhaps?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I feel like our equaliser is going to have to. Well, it'll come in the 94th minute or something along those lines.
So you're saying it will feel like a win?
It'll feel like a win. Yes, it'll feel like a win.
That'll do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 1-1.
Anyway, then in a week's time, chaps, we're predicting Chelsea.
What's Nathaniel predicting for Bristol again?
Nathaniel needs Bristol.
Well, as Oliver's put here, Bristol looked absolutely awful against Derby on Friday night. They lost 5-0 at home. And, we can't keep this unbeaten run forever. So I'll go 5-0 Bristol.
I mean, Sergei said about the Swansea game that energy levels should be expected to be low because it's the end of a 3-game week. I don't think he was quite meaning lose 5-0 at the end of the next 3-game week.
Well,
I'm sorry, Ian. I'm sorry. It's just Bristol. I have nightmares.
Yeah, we've been beaten by them 5-0 before, haven't we? So definitely possible for it to happen again.
But we've beaten them 1-0 before.
We have.
Yeah,
We have.
that's true. I'm trying to remember any other 1-0 win against Bristol other than the player final, but I don't think we have.
You didn't need to reference any other one.
Yeah, true.
Just that one.
All right. Well,
We've drawn 5-5 with them before, or whatever it was. 4-4.
yes.
Like
Well,
that.
it's 4
Well,
all. Yeah, 4
It was
all.
no,
It
we
was
have
5.
5-all draw with them.
Yeah.
God. Trying to remember all that.
Yeah, Harry Wilson scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's
Let's
okay.
look. Let's look forward to that Friday match, though. That Joe brought
Yeah.
up.
It'd be
Let's
nice to have
leave
a
that for next week, actually.
true because we'll need some content, won't we? We'll need
Yeah,
need some
that's true.
content. Absolutely.
Because
Right, well-
someone's nana is from Hull.
Next week's going to be tedious looking ahead to that, isn't it? Absolutely tedious. Well, one thing that's not tedious is hopefully another 9-point week for the Tigers as we look to firmly place ourselves in the, I can't believe I'm saying this, in the title race with a win against Watford and push on as much as 11 points clear of 7th place as well. So thank you everyone who's commented in. We've had lots of comments tonight. Remember to repost and blog, and you can send us a fax as well if you want. I don't know how you do that.
Letter.
Send us a letter, exactly, through the post box. And chances of being top on the league on Saturday, 100%. Thank you everyone for joining me. Up the Tigers. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.